Hello everyone and welcome back to the Isle of Wight. Wait a minute, that's not what I usually say. This isn't where I usually am. What's going on here? Where am I? Now this is a little village that I have been working on for the last week or so. This is my entry in the Isle of Wight village build-off. If you don't know and if you haven't noticed, then PugGaming did a competition on his channel where some people could participate and build a village of their choice, and then they would vote on who was the best and all that. I was one of the few who participated. It was quite a lot actually, but very happy that I managed to participate and build on this island, because I've been following the series for a long time, and since the start I've been following PugGaming way before that, but it's definitely been a very fun experience to be working on the island here. I usually do like builds like this. Lately I've been Boulder Cole, my series is not that detail driven, if you know what I mean, but man, I feel like I want to go back now and focus more on something more with detail like this one, because I really had a blast. I loved working on this one. So the point of this video is to show off what I have done in a little bit more detail, talk about my inspiration and stuff like that. I didn't win, sadly, but full credit to I think it was W.J. Koopman, I think that's his name, who won, and every single entry was amazing. It was really fun is that everyone did something different as well, so it was really interesting to see. I really hope PugGaming does something like this again. Maybe I'll participate again, who knows. But let's go into detail on this village right here. By the way, thank you for everyone who voted for me, or in the competition. So this is the plot of land that we got, roughly, let me zoom out like so, roughly this area I think, so quite large. I've been busy. I'll talk more about it in an upcoming video, but I've been very busy with school and stuff, so I didn't really have that much time. So I decided to go a little bit more smaller, like a smaller scale, like the other entries. Someone even filled up this entire area, which is just insane. But I simply didn't have time, so I decided to go a little bit more dense and a little bit more compact, and just the area that I had left, probably use some farms or something like that, which these are decals, by the way, so they aren't functional. But let's start at the beginning. The first thing I did was actually work outside of the city limits, so the limits for the competition. I built this little creek here because I wanted to because we weren't allowed to build on this side, and I really wanted the village to be have a village center where two major roads met. And if you zoom out, the original two roads were this one right here and this one here. I don't think these I think I made those myself actually. So I first wanted to have the village center to be here, but I felt like in order to that to be natural, you had to have buildings on, you know, each side of the road. But I didn't want to do that because, you know, that was outside the limit. So to, you know, reason for not having the city limit or the city center here was to build sort of a creek on this side, so, you know, they couldn't really actually build here. And there's a little road here that leads through here, probably like a yeah, it's a dirt road. I don't know who uses it, you know, probably someone who works for forestry, maybe, you know, stuff like that, maybe even some hikers. And a little, you know, I wouldn't call it a bridge, but you got a little pipe here that you know, the water can go through. The first probably thing you see here is the church. Now I don't know what happened, I probably messed up, but this church didn't feature in the videos that PugGaming made. That's ugly car. I think it's missing. I think I don't know what happened, but yeah, I think I messed up. So this was actually the church that was supposed to be here. It did look kind of unnatural when it was missing, but you know, what are you gonna do? But the idea for this area was that this is, you know, a regular church with a graveyard, and then it suddenly got a restaurant right next to it. And I thought perhaps these buildings here could be like an old monastery, if that makes sense, for this church. Or I don't really know too much about this, but it was, you know, well, there's no monastery now, and it was turned into maybe like a restaurant of some sort, like a family-run pub or something like that. So probably during the summertime, when it's probably a lot of tourists on the island, you know, this is open, so it's like open every season. And I had like nice manufactured grass as well, and then you have the graveyard right next to it. So but you don't see it when you sit there and enjoy your, I don't know what Brits enjoy, like pie or something. Yeah, I guess so. And then when you're coming on this road here, you take a right, then you're suddenly on like the main street. These houses here are nothing really special. A little bit of detail that is not supposed to be there, but you know, it didn't used to be there. Most of these houses are made by Rick 4000, who was featured in the last video for the village build-off made by Pug, where Rick and Pug, you know, sort of took a closer look and talk about the villages. So yeah, it was cool to have Rick, you know, I've been using his assets for a really long time. It's cool having him judge my placement of them. So what we have on this main strip is a pub, the Cavendish. We have a hair shop, what's this, convenience store, pharmacy. This looks like a bakery, and pizza shop. And then you have over here, you have fish and chips, another pub, and another pub. So am I going overboard when 3 pubs in such a small village? I don't know, but I feel like, you know, you gotta have at least 2 pubs, even though, you know, there's no one living here. So there's because, you know, pubs, they are Britain, they are the UK. Certainly that's what I what I feel. What's cool about this pub, this asset, is that it's had this little like tunnel almost that leads you to the other side here. And what I thought is that perhaps this could be like guest parking for, you know, people visiting, or it could be parking for people who live in this area. That could be perhaps someone living like upstairs for the pub, or sometimes you see that the pub have like almost like a bed and breakfast, that they have, you know, rooms that they rent out in the second floor. You see that, so probably that could also be the case. And then certainly like back alley, you know, where they could go out and, I don't know, drink outdoors if they want to do that. And then of course I really enjoyed spending some time on these backyards for these houses. Most of the assets I use in the backyard are made by Beard Monkey, I think. And then this house, this one I like, because if you look at the back here, you see that it's very overgrown, actually. You can clearly see that it's people aren't really tending it. So I thought perhaps this could be one of those houses that, you know, were not especially abandoned. You can see that there's still people living on this side, but I decided to actually, I don't know if anyone noticed, but almost like barricade this side, so that the other side of this house actually is abandoned, and that could, you know, explain why it's such a bad state. It's just a tiny little detail, it doesn't mean anything, but I really enjoyed it. Just more houses along the area. Here's a farm. Decided to go with a couple of farms as well. What else want I show you? Well, I can go in the back alley of this area, or the back lot as well. You can probably see there's a lot of bicycles around. I thought that would be like kind of fitting. That most people, I don't know if that's the case in real life, but I feel like if it were just to imagine, people in this area would often just use their bikes if they, you know, let's say you lived over here and you wanted to go to the pub or something, you just jump on your bike. You don't need to use a car, or you can walk, but you know it's flat, so you can just get on your bike and, you know. Which explains a lot of bikes. I just went ahead and placed down a lot of them, kind of random spots. You can see on the other side as well. In front of the bakery, there's one, and outside of the pub. So you can see that there is people here, even though it's actually not. More back alleys. I noticed that, you know, there's supposed to be more. They're supposed to be filled with grass, so some assets have disappeared for me as well, so that's not too good. But yeah, who cares? A little primary school. This one is also made by Rick 4000. It's a part of his, I think it's called UK Village series collection. Detail a little bit with the back lot, the basketball, the football. And just more rural houses, really. So the idea when I made these is that, you know, place down a garage next to them and give them, certainly when you come a little bit further away from the like village center, you get a lot more space. You know, they got quite a huge garden. Same with these guys, and same with these guys. They also probably own this farm, or maybe they rent it out, I don't know. But then if you follow this road over here, I'm sorry if this is a little bit all over the place, but I got a lot to show. Little, would you call it a mansion or a villa or just a fancy house? Probably, but oh, they keep disappearing, that's annoying. I was happy with that. Pug enjoyed this, and I really liked the idea that probably like a football player lived here or something like that. That was cool. So this is also Rick's building. A little bit nicer grass here in the back, and then a little more garden space over here. You got a pool as well. I'm guessing it gets quite hot on the island. It is quite far south, so it would be very nice to cool down everyone once in a while. You got cows here. I don't know what color this one is. It's a chocolate milk probably. But, yeah. And then I thought I'll talk more in detail like on where I got my inspiration, but from one place I got my inspiration. There was this small what's it called, like a caravan camp or like a camping ground or something like that, that I wanted to sort of include in my build. It's probably not like the best location for it, but I thought like the view right here is quite good, and you know you got a lot of shops in town as well, so yeah, I probably would enjoy staying here actually, in this area. They also got a pool here if they want to hang out and, you know, enjoy themselves. It's more like it's not really a restaurant, but like a food truck. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Placed down a lot of these kinds of different kinds of assets. I didn't want to go too overboard. This might be like an off season, probably. So it's not too crowded. The reason was because I thought I didn't really have that many of these assets, so if I were to place down every single lot, it would get quite repetitive. So yeah, that was the reason behind that. Another creek. This is actually a network. This is actually not water. It's a network by Ronix, I think. And then you of course have the main entrance for the camping ground, little sign, and then yeah, I don't know what to do in here. Like, I guess they got some stuff to do, like administration and stuff. More houses. Yeah, I didn't really detail too much. I didn't have that much time, as I already said, but placed down some cars so that you get a feeling that people live here and that they just are indoors. More farms over here with like a shed, and then let's go over here first. Here's another nice house. I really like this one. Like a sort of a I feel like not every village, but you know, sort of almost everyone have this this abandoned house that that no one really knows why it's abandoned, or don't really know why it's not been torn down or anything. And every kid would, like, you know, talk about, you know, this probably haunted, and then they would, you know, make bets that you don't want to go here at night time, and like I give you $10 if you do, something like that. We definitely had not a few of these houses, but we had some of these where I grew up, and yeah, that was the idea when I placed down this one, and just made it look more run down and made it look very abandoned. It was a really cool asset. I really like it. Another thing you probably can see is that a lot of these houses are very close to the street. And I didn't know this at first, but when I looked at inspiration for the series, I found out that a lot of these houses that you can find on the island, and probably everywhere else in the UK, are very close to the street. I don't know if you know, probably because the streets or the roads are very old, and they were probably just dirt paths before, and eventually they became proper roads like this, and that might explain it. But yeah, you're basically driving like right next to the buildings. Here as well, you know. It leaves not a lot of space, but that was a sort of detail I wanted to include. You can see it several places, but yeah, most visible is probably this one right here. It's right next to it. We can see more on Google Maps where I got my inspiration from, and I can show you more in detail. But that is almost everything. There's something over here as well. This building right here also, I think I messed up because that wasn't included in the videos by Pug. Probably went missing. It's I was pretty sure that all my buildings were part of this series, and no one would go missing. But apparently, yeah, not this one. This one right here. So this is like a small industrial area, auto center, yeah, like places to change your tires and stuff like that. Both of these shops actually do that. So yeah, little dirty industrial area, very much on the side of the village. There's no point of having it any more centralized actually. So it's the reason why it's here is because it's right on the corner of two kind of large roads. So it would make a lot of sense, because this road seems kind of big, so it would make sense. And yeah, the parking lot is a lot of decals. Decals on the parking lots themselves. These are all, of course, props, the cars. There's no one here. And just going around with more decals, especially in this area, make it look a little bit more run down than everywhere else. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it. The remaining area, I pretended were farms. I had to go back and watch a lot of Pug's previous videos to see, what kind of technique he used when building farms. And yeah, it's these decals, just placing down a lot of them. I didn't want to go too overboard, so I left a lot of the area with no decals whatsoever. And because there wouldn't really be any decals here, it makes sense that the cows are in an open area like this. It should be fenced off, but I guess they're obedient enough. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's just go and take a look at the inspiration behind this village right here. Okay, so we are now at or in Google Maps. I guess a lot of you are already very familiar with that tool. I spent a lot of time in Google Maps. This is the island, or isle, I don't know what to call it. The area that we were given to use in our competition was, I would say, probably this area, roughly. And so when we got the area and when I started building, I went on over here and I looked at nearby places for inspiration. And I wanted to find an area that was roughly the right size. Like, this area is quite too big, and maybe like this is too small again. I don't know. This is not the right area. So I went ahead and looked at different kind of places, and I found Newbridge, which is right over here. Here is the caravan and camping park. That is where I got my inspiration behind the caravan camp. I think, yeah, this is called caravan and camping. This is probably houses that are stationary, like ish, whilst these are caravans, of course. A pool as well. Taking a lot of inspiration from this area. The layout is not the same. It's a lot smaller, but it's kind of the same. And if we go, like, let's say we go, where should we go down? Probably, if we go down here, for example. First of all, are you allowed to park there? I don't know. But here as well, the houses are quite close to the road. Definitely this one. I don't think they use this store, but you know, if they do, they gotta be sure there's no traffic, or else it goes right off. Yeah, look at that. You go straight to the road. There's no sidewalk or anything. I found that quite fascinating, and I didn't know, because this seems like very much the case in a lot of these areas. Here as well, very close to the road. He's also parked there. Is this allowed? How dangerous is it to drive in the UK? It's just people parking in the middle of the road. And another thing is the foliage. There's so much foliage on the island. There's a lot of bushes, there's a lot of trees and everything. I did try to mimic that in some sense by you know, placing a lot of bushes and stuff like that near the road, because it is really insane. Just look at this area. It's so much, it's so lush, and well, it is quite far south. Probably rains a lot as well, so it's perfect for these plants to grow. Just look. It's so dense, it's so tall, it's it's really weird. And a lot of accidents must happen, because, like, let's say you're driving on this road right here, you have no idea what's behind the corner because of the vegetation. It's just so much. Can't be safe. There's a bus. But that was one of the main sources of inspiration. What's it called again? Newbridge. And it's kind of in the same location, so it fit quite well. Another place I looked at was further south. I looked at Brightstone, too big. And then I went over here and Holverstone, is that what it's called? And once again I went down to Street View. Once again, vegetation, quite a lot of it. Houses quite close to the road, meaning that you have to park quite close to the road. And here as well, I think. Yeah, very close to the road. I think you get my point. And this house, that was what inspired me to build that little restaurant area right next to the church, if you remember that one at the start of the episode. Once again, very close to the road, and just a nice little area to, you know, stop and get something to eat, I guess. Fresh local food served daily. Nice. Oh, look at that. That's cool. Quite a lot of real nice houses as well, which I really like. That was probably like the few things that inspired me the most. As you can see from looking from above, seating area outside, just like I did. So yeah, that was my inspiration for that. Now let me go back into the game. Oops. And say my farewells. I'm gonna show you some cinematics right now, and be sure to stay on the channel. I will continue my Boulder Cove series, and I will return. I'm not too sure when I'll post this, but if everything goes to plan, I post this rather quickly, and then I post Boulder Cove sort of right after it. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of videos from me the next few months, hopefully. So hopefully you are excited about that. I want to do something like this again, something more detail driven than Boulder Cove. I don't want to stop Boulder Cove, but probably something like I might take a break and call it like a season finale, like season 1 of Boulder Cove is now done. Let me now focus on season 1 of a new series. That might be the case, but probably not the UK, even though I sort of want to. I have built a UK build before. It's on my channel if you're wondering, but yeah, I might have something in the works, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed. I would encourage you to go ahead and watch PugGaming's videos around the build-off. Go check out every contestant's YouTube channel and Twitter page and whatever, and just enjoy life, really. I hope to see you soon. That will be in Boulder Cove. Hope you join me there. Thank you all for watching. Bye for now.